Gather around. It is story time. Hey, this is Cecil, your humble servant, and I just noticed a few things that stories really help change people's lives. You ever listen to a good story and it really, changed the way you looked at an individual or looked at a group or how you viewed the world? That's what stories does to people. Stories are very powerful and impactful to people's lives. Some people relate to data and facts and logic and they be able to connect, but other people, when they hear a good story, they're able to, make meaning out of life. They become more creative. They're able to, see the impossible and do things they never thought they'll be able to do. So, with that being said, I would like to just share a story with you. Probably sharing a couple of stories a week that I hope inspires you, encourages you, enlightens you, even instruct you to become a better person so you can become more influential and more valuable to other people in your life. So, the title of this story is The Important Things in Life. So, let's go ahead and dive into the story. And this story is for me as well, and hopefully it helps me out too. So, let's begin. A philosophy professor stood before his class with some items on the table in front of him. When the class began, wordlessly he picked up a very large and empty mayonnaise jar and proceeded to fill it with rocks about 2 inches in diameter. He then asked the students if the jar was full. They agreed that it was. So the professor then picked up a box of pebbles and poured them into the jar. He shook the jar lightly. The pebbles, of course, rolled into the open areas between the rocks. He then asked the students again if the jar was full. They agreed it was. The professor picked up a box of sand and poured it into the jar. Of course, the sand filled up everything else. He then asked once more if the jar was full, and the students responded, "Yes, the jar is full." "Now," said the professor, "I want you to recognize that this jar represents your life. The rocks are the important things: your family, your partner, your health, your children, your faith. Things that if everything else was lost and only they remained, your life would still be full. The pebbles are the other things that matter, like your job, your house, your car. The sand is everything else, the small stuff. If you put the sand into the jar first," he continued, "there's no room for the pebbles or the rocks. The same goes for your life. If you spend all your time and energy on the small stuff, you'll never have room for the things that are important to you. Pay attention to the things that are critical to your happiness. Play with your children. Take your partner out dancing. There will always be time to go to work, clean the house, give a dinner party, and fix the disposal. Take care of the rocks first, the things that really matter. Set your priorities. The rest is just sand." So, this concludes the story, and I hope it inspired you, blessed you, and encourage you to, work on setting your priorities and spending more time with the things that matters. I know it helped me. All right. Bye bye.